Hello, everyone. It's getting closer to the Christmas holidays, and I still don't know what to review for episode 49. But yeah, one of those convenient movie that came out of nowhere that had very ugly animation, had Tom Hanks in it, was directed by the same guy that directed Reminding the Stone and Back to the Future Part 1, 2, and 3, and had a lot of motion capture, was released by Warner Brothers and was released in November 2004 with a budget of 165 to 270 million dollars. I know. The Polar Express, of course. What other movie with those specific details can I review? Of course, no other movie. So yeah, the Polar Express. As I said before, this is another Warner Brothers movie, which means I can't review it because Warner Brothers still has that five. Warner Brothers Discovery still made that 5 minute rule where you can't show more than 5 minutes of footage from one of their movies, or they'll strike you. So I've yet once again to say I'm not doing the finger this time because I've got my finger problem solved, and they resolved this by cutting off both my middle fingers entirely. I'm holding this by holding two sticks together. It's way easier than trying to do this. Oh damn it! So I lied about keeping getting my middle finger chopped off. So yeah, it's pretty much unavoidable. Screw you, Warner Brothers Discovery. Go now. Go. You are a very good company, Warner Brothers Pictures. Anyway, Polar Express is a 2004 thing, directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it had the unique distinction of having very distinguishable animation. And indistinguishable, I mean, was the animation really that bad? Yes, but but there are other things than just the animation. It is still, after all, a movie. So there's lots of other things I have to talk about instead of just the animation. Even though I could pretty much write an entire paragraph, 10 paragraphs about why the animation is ugly. But it's 2004, so I'm gonna give it a break. Anyway, so the movie plays on the thing about is Santa real or not. So uh, it of course plays on this thing called the Polar Express, where kids who don't really believe in Santa Claus that much or want to see Santa Claus board this train that is controlled by this guy called the conductor, played by Tom Hanks. And we have the main character is called Hero Boy, who is voiced by Daryl Sabara. His adult voice is also Tom Hanks, and his father is also Tom Hanks. Of course, he goes along with other people on the bus, on the express, on the train, including Hero Girl, Billy the Lonely Boy, and Know It All. And these are not the names I'm making up. This is the names that the Wikipedia page describes them as. Of course, there's a few other faces on the train. There's Smokey and Steamer. There's Hobo, there's a hobo on the train who could potentially be a ghost or not, who's also played by Tom Hanks. There's Santa at the North Pole, who's also played by Tom Hanks, and an Ebenezer Scrooge also played by Tom Hanks. There's a lot of Tom Hanks in this movie. Do you like Tom Hanks? Of course you do. There's a Tom Hanks in every Robert Zemeckis movie ever created. As you can see, Tom Hanks is prominently featured throughout this entire movie. He has 6 different roles. And to be fair, I don't really care that much. I'm just making a joke about it because I'm an unlikable twat who nobody likes me. But what do I care? I'm not crying. I'm not crying. Shut up. Of course, a problem I have with the movie is that there isn't really that much of a plot. It's just things happening. Now, of course, movies where it's just things happening can sometimes be great, but for the most part, the most that we get is that it's just about these kids going to see Santa Claus on this train. It's just a series of vignettes that happen on this train, and there's a bit of a movie that doesn't even take place on the train. It sometimes takes place in the North Pole, which, by the way, I must admit that the North Pole in this movie is the most boring North Pole I've ever seen. It literally looks like friggin' New York in the 1800s. It's so bland, which is funny because this is the Polar friggin' Express, which is a movie about making all your wildest dreams come true with ugly motion capture, and yet they couldn't even design a good enough friggin' North Pole. It literally looks like New York. in the 1920s, or the 1910s, or the 1900s, or the 1890s, or anything, just anything but the North Pole. It looks old fashioned. It looks boring. It's the most boring North Pole I've ever seen. Just the North Pole in Elf Bowling the movie looks better than this. Now, is there anything good about the movie? Obviously, it is. I like the film. The views, the backgrounds are breathtaking, except for the North Pole, and some of them, it is very. How do I say this without seeming like a offensive bastard? It is a very innovative movie. It is one of the first movies to use a lot of motion capture that isn't, Final Fantasy: The Final Spirits, this Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within from 2001, which had the brilliant idea of using digital actors. Boy, did that stick! But, yeah, I think that this movie has a very sometimes even good animation, and the keyword here is sometimes, because some shots look really good, but then other shots look horrifying to the point of it looks like friggin' Hoodwinked from 2005. It's very. I would even go so far as say is that there's a certain shot of the know-it-all kid where he goes cross-eyed, and it genuinely looks like Food Fight for a split second. When a movie, a $170 million movie, looks on the same quality as a 2012 $45 million budget movie that is unrendered, that's not a good sign. But I will admit, this movie isn't awful with the animation. Like I said before, there are still some good shots. But is there anything else with the film? I mean, I like all the Tom Hanks roles. That's fine. I think the message is pretty good about the belief in Santa Claus. I think the ending is a very satisfying ending of how Hero Boy was the only kid around to still believe in Santa Claus, as he was the one to hear the ringing of the bell. Wait, spoiler alert, he believed in Santa Claus again. Big surprise! Well, there's a big surprise. Yes, I'm not too sure of what to think of this movie. It's a really good movie. I mean, it has great animation. What the hell am I saying? Sorry, I think I was thinking of Avatar. Sorry. What I was trying to say was it has crappy animation, sort of, kind of, maybe, in a way. I don't know. It has sometimes the plot doesn't really make that much sense, and the North Pole looks awful because it's. I'm sorry, it's the worst looking North Pole I've ever seen. Not because it's badly designed. No, it is. It's because it's so boring. It's the most generic looking North Pole I've ever seen. It's not even generic. A generic North Pole is more than what this one looks like. It looks like New York in the olden days, more than a magical place called the North Frickin' Pole. Like, I don't know what to say about that. It's the worst part of the movie. I hate it more than the animation. But I still think that has a good message, a satisfying ending, likable characters than most. I would even go so far as say that the backgrounds look nice. Yeah, I really like the backgrounds, and it is very innovative how Zemeckis was able to get this much going for this much money for a movie based on a children's book. And I will give it credit; it does stick mostly true to what the original book is. There's nothing really. It's not like other movies based on children's book where they try to pander to young kids or try to make them as hip and trendy as possible, making them more cringy than you can ever count. Dolores, Cat in the Hat, Grinch, Jim Carrey, and Illumination. But yeah, the point is, I like this movie. I really do. I gave it a 7.5. It's a really good movie, but I wouldn't call this great. I think it's pretty good, but not pretty great. That's all I can say about this movie. Also, fun fact, Michael Jeter, who played one of the characters in the movie, is gay. Yes, he was gay and HIV positive. So he died. But all the homophobes are going to be pretty fun. Are going to be happy about this one, are they? Warning: does not attack on any gay people or any people of a differing sexual preference. You can be anything you want. I'm just making fun of the homophobes because they are stupid people who don't realize do not realize that people can be anything they want and can love anything they want. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. It's a bit longer than the others, but so far the Christmas reviews haven't really been that long. I wonder if there's another Christmas review I can do that will be twice as long as this video, have a lot more sketches, and be very plot focused. No, I got nothing. No, I got nothing. I can't think of anything at all. Huh. Well, at least I'm definitely gonna have a very nice, peaceful, relaxing, nothing plot focused at all Christmas for episode 50. Oh, it's episode 50. I'm gonna die, aren't I?